WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Ian D. Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the parlay pounder.
You got it.
How about that, Lou Vinicaro?
Yeah, that was awesome.
I mean,
that guy knows his stuff.
He does. UFC, and then, of course, I really wanted to hear his thoughts on the CWS.
The road to Omaha.
Yep, and it's finally been paved. We got our 8 teams.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And he was all over it. I thought it was interesting how he wants to bet heavy on one side of the bracket, not so much the other. He gave a lot of good reasons.
Yeah, it's the way to do it, I guess.
Now we're going to shift gears a little bit here, and we're going to talk some NFL futures, some predicted win totals that have been coming out over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we got to start with some local teams that, a lot of Nebraskans follow.
Yeah.
Let's start out west with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to the Nuggets.
Yeah.
First ever franchise championship.
Yeah,
cool.
Team that we followed all year long.
Yep.
I went out and saw them in Denver.
Yep.
Really, really awesome team. Joker, one of the best players, probably getting a statue and jersey hung up there in Denver. So that's really cool. But yeah, let's flip our seasons a little bit from basketball to football, and we're talking about the Orange Broncos.
The Broncos.
Yeah.
And I don't know where this over-under is coming from with 8.5.
Yeah.
But that's where they're at. 8.5 wins. You got to think more people are betting on that under than the over. I just see so many holes that continue to exist. I know Sean Payton's there, but it's just, for me, it's like, well, here's another headline. We got Russell Wilson. Here's your headline. That didn't work. Well, here's the next headline. Here's Sean Payton. This should work. I just don't know. I feel like I need to see it before I believe it with Denver.
Okay, I'll give you a few things, Andy, and I know that you're probably going to disagree with about all of this.
Okay.
The Denver Broncos, I think, comes into this season as probably the highest variance team that could make the biggest jump. Mm-hmm. They were so bad last year, and it seemed like the offense just didn't have an identity. Right. And I think they have a coach now. The offensive line's a lot better. They have adequate pass catchers and what appears to be a solid defense. However, as we all know, the biggest X factor on the team is that old guy behind center, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was one of the most efficient QBs in his time at Seattle. That didn't work out in year one in Denver. Can they turn that around? With Sean Payton, it doesn't really make sense to me, Andy, because the teams that I remember him being very, very good with, it was high octane passing. Yep. And every team that Russell Wilson has ever been successful with, it's been run the ball, run the ball,
defense,
run the ball,
defense,
run the ball, run the ball, play action.
Yep.
Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, play action. And I just don't see Sean Payton making that switch over to play action football when, for one thing, I don't think Denver has an elite running back like Marshawn Lynch or any of those Seattle guys that can really take up this mantle. So I am hammering that under 8.5 wins. Yeah. I'm just saying that the reason that Bronco faithful can be a little bit, hopeful is that, they have a pretty, easy schedule is what I would say, and they have a bye week in the middle of the season that could really propel them. They still have to play the Chiefs twice. Chiefs aren't going to lose. Mahomes has never lost a road division game in his career when he starts. Mm-hmm. So I really think this is going to go under, and the Broncos are going to be scrambling to figure out what they want to do with Russell Wilson at the end of this year.
I think your biggest improvement for Denver is their offensive line. They've added on to that. That looks good. And you talk about the receivers, and they are talented. They are fast. They can go up and get a ball. But they had that last year.
They did.
And you know what happened? Those guys were screaming at Russell Wilson during games on the field.
Give me the ball. Give me the ball.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was.
It was embarrassing. So I would have to lean towards that under as well with
I
the
just
Denver
don't see
Broncos.
them touching the next team that we're going to talk about,
and
that is their foes in the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep, 11.5 is the over-under I'm looking at right now, and this is kind of fun because it's right there. There's 17 games now in the regular season, so either way you can see a path for the Chiefs to go ahead and get to that 12 wins. It's not going to be easy, but it never is. I feel like the Chiefs were undersold in a big way last year, and they rose up, and I think they had an okay year.
Yeah.
It kind of wrapped up for them fairly well, didn't it?
I think, a couple first-team All-Pros. They might have took that Lombardi Trophy home as well. I went up and down this schedule, Andy, and I think the Chiefs are the most predictable when it comes to wins and losses. They tend to start fast in September, get bored a little bit in October, and then they dominate after the bye week. Patrick Mahomes has 10 losses over 36 games in September and October, then just 6 losses in 44 games in the months of November, December, and January. Just think about that for a little bit. No, anybody would kill for numbers like that. Is crazy. The Chiefs have not lost a divisional road game, like I said, with Mahomes as the starter, and I don't think that trend doesn't end this season. Not with the way the Chargers play against the Chiefs, the Raiders with the new system that they're trying to do, and like we just said with the Denver Broncos, Mahomes will not lose to these guys. He just won't let it happen. The Chargers, like we said, play their Super Bowl in Arrowhead, and the Bengals get their playoff revenge in Arrowhead, but like those were the big losses that they had last year. I believe that they go over on this. I have a final record of 13-4. Kansas City Chiefs.
I like that, and you're even giving me a game to play with there. 4 out of the last 5 seasons, they've won 12 or more games. Why do I think it's going to slow down now? I don't.
You don't.
I don't at all. I think they're going to get to 12, 13, 14, whatever they're going to cover that.
I agree.
And it's just it's turned into like kind of a repetitive, almost boring story. It's like, Patrick Mahomes is that good.
He's good.
He can underhand a touchdown pass. He can sidearm a touchdown. It doesn't matter.
I wish I had a quarterback on my team that could throw an overhand, and this guy's diving out of bounds, throwing it behind his head, throwing it underhand. So, he's pretty good, and their tight end is pretty good as well.
Should we head up north?
North Succa.
The northeast portion of the state of Nebraska, pretty much the entire north half of Nebraska, really gets behind the old Minnesota Vikings.
They bleed purple.
Yes, they do. The Purple People Eaters. And they have an interesting over-under here at 8.5.
Yeah.
And we've talked to this. Remember Jeremy Odom?
For sure.
With the Right Way Sports Network. I know he thinks this is a very gettable over.
Yeah.
I might think about him. Where do you land on this?
Yeah. Just the one thing I want to kind of lay out, Andy, is the NFC North is going to be much more competitive this year, I think.
Okay.
Despite the fact that the conference as a whole seems more wide open than it's ever been because of the departure of Aaron Rodgers, I just didn't see the Vikings get a whole lot better this offseason, Andy. I saw them get rid of one of their best players of recent years, Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen. Those are 2 huge pieces of the Minnesota Vikings when you think of them in the last 5 to 10 years. The biggest thing that they brought in was their defensive coordinator, Brian Flores. But considering all the defensive departures and the lack of draft capital the Vikings used on the defensive end, I'm not sure they have enough to run this Flores style defense with these players that they have on this side of the ball. I believe that Jordan Addison was a great pick in the first round, but he's undersized and may have a bit of, a learning curve in the NFL.
Sure.
So I really think that I looked at this roster, and I think it's going to be 7 wins for the Minnesota Vikings this year.
Jabron, you ignorant schmuck.
There we go.
There is no way that this team won 12 games last year. There's no way that they're 5 games worse than that. I feel like they got better at receiver. You already mentioned how they used the draft with that Addison kid. Thielen was old. He lost a step, maybe a step and a half. Dalvin Cook, he's an old running back. What is that worth in the NFL?
I don't think he's old, but yeah.
In NFL standards, the guy's a grandpa. Now, I'm laying it on kind of thick.
You
here.
are.
But he is a running back, okay? And he's got great speed, but he's had injuries and all those things. And if there's one thing that I will get behind, it is Kirk Cousins. He will just do what he needs to do to win 9 games. I think winning 9 games for Kirk Cousins, that's money in the bank. I'm looking at the Bears like, why do I have any faith in the Bears? Well, I'm a Bears fan, but okay, we got a young quarterback that could be good. No, don't give me that.
It does look like Kirk Cousins at this point in time is the best quarterback in the NFC North.
Yeah, he is.
Probably fighting for that top spot with Jared Goff.
Jordan Love, you getting on the Love train here?
I'm definitely not touching the Green Bay Packers. But like you just brought him up. We got a little bit of time. Let's touch on the Chicago Bears. What are you thinking with the Bears? 7.5 wins is where the line is.
Oh, that's right on.
Yeah.
I would like to say over.
Yeah.
My heart says over, but my head says under. There's still way too many questions. I know they tried to address the offensive line, and they should. With the draft. I love their draft, getting that big kid out of Tennessee at left tackle.
That was the way to do it.
Yeah, it really is. But you still, you're talking about losing Dalvin Cook. Well, at least the Vikings had somebody to lose. The Bears had at running back, receiver. Mooney is their number one receiver.
No, you are wrong. DJ Moore. Is
you're right.
The best receiver in the NFC North now.
Okay.
I'm even giving it to him over Justin Jefferson. This Panther is going to come in, and the Bears are going to win 8 games this year. They're going to go 8-9. The Bears are about to start the season off with a bang, hosting their bitter rivals at Soldier Field, the Green Bay Packers, with quarterback Jordan Love's first start. I think the Chicago Bears really get off to a really good start and tail off at the end of the year here. I do believe over 7.5 wins, Andy, is a very good lock for the Chicago Bears, because this team, if they get on a run, Andy, with the amount of variance there is in the NFC North right now, and the amount of talent and young players that the Bears have, it could go either way. It could go, let's pack it in for the year. This is another year that we're going to have 4 wins, or they could surprise everybody and come out and have a winning season. So I know that you being a Bears fan, it's hard to get behind him and stuff, but I really like this. I really like this kid, Justin Fields, and I've liked what I've seen out of him. It just
beat the 49ers last year. Beat the
49ers last year, and now that he does have some great pieces around him, can he make the next step with an emerging defense in Chicago? I really think this is a make or break year, especially for Justin Fields.
Never have I heard you say something so dumb.
Yeah.
Then totally redeem yourself.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, fine. Give me the Bears. You got the fandom out of me. I do like Fields. I do like what they did with the offensive line. And that DJ Moore accusation, that slipped my mind.
Let's go.
He is a difference maker. Never got the love that he deserved down in Carolina. Yeah, why is Carolina just getting rid of...
We got Adam Thielen. DJ Moore with his stats right now is the leading receiver in Bears history. So that's just a little nugget for you.
Yep. So, well, that'll about do it for us this week on WTL. Be sure to follow us on ESPN Tri-Cities Radio and their Facebook page, other social media. We're on Twitter. Twitter account is growing like our YouTube channel. That has been a lot of fun. Getting that video out there. That's such a growing market. People that like to just sit down and watch their podcast. Plus, we make those short videos, add some video to it, add some music to it, make it a lot of fun, like you said. You also got those free picks coming out on TikTok each and every single week. So check us out over there. Just search WTL Sports Betting. You'll find
We'll come right up.
For Jabron, the Parlay Pounder, I'm Andy Klassen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.